Hello, I'm Skeleton. I've hit Radiant countless times on multiple agents, and I've also peaked rank 1 on Europe. I am an experienced coach and player, and I'm basically just here to help you learn everything you need to know about Valorant. Okay, so in this video we're going to be looking at Viper on Icebox. Now, Viper is the pick for Icebox. You know, people like to mix in Harbour, but in general you always need Viper, and the reason why is, you know, she's so good at locking down sites, mainly B, but also, you know, she's very strong on attack with the lineups and the lurking. Now with Viper, obviously the basic A wall you need to be doing is this one, and the basic B wall is, you know, you can just do one like this, right? It's just gonna cover B. Bing bang bong. Okay. Now I'll show the lineups real quick that you need to know, and these lineups are just really useful. I'll start with the A lineups first. We'll do A, and then we'll do mid, and then we'll do B. It's a little bit easier. So when looking at A, the lineups you want to know is this one. It's a really easy one. And you know, it just lands here. So you just want to get in this box, aim it like this, gap. Yeah. And the reason this one's really good is because you're positioning afterwards, right? You know, your positioning afterwards is you're already ready to fight off this lineup. But not all the time are you gonna be able to be here. So another lineup that's good to know is you just get on this corner and you aim at like the corner of this. It's like a little bit of a shadow, right? And you just shoot it. This one's gonna like land as well. And these two are both just like this one's more, you know, if you don't have time, maybe you push with your team a little bit. You don't have time to run all the way up here. You know, you can just kind of get here and you can just shoot one, and then you can reposition, right? And you can run up here if you want. You know, you kind of clear this, you're like, right, okay, then you do your other lineup. So you can transition into both these lineups. You can mix it with your orb, maybe you can get your orb down on the bomb. You know, that's obviously going to make sure it does more damage. Those are the basic lineups that you need to know on A. I'd say anyone playing Viper should know these, purely just because there's going to be so many situations where they're going to come in handy. There's nothing more annoying than playing against a Viper and he's playing lineups and there's like 20 seconds left when you're trying to retake. Your role on Viper is mixed. You can lurk, you can come with your team. You don't want to be playing too aggressive because you're going to want your util up. You're going to want to be the last alive playing your lineups. You know, you can play Viper aggressive, especially when you're lurking, but usually when you're pushing with your team, there's not really any point of dying, you know. If you are pushing with your team, you know, throwing a molly backside to help them, you know, maybe molly and Gen. It's kind of missed. It's kind of a hard place to molly. I guess you just aim really low. You know, giving these supportive mollies is gonna help, but in general, you know, you don't want to be, like, as a rule of thumb, like on Viper, you probably don't want to be pushing past pipes. Like, you want to be staying in this area, just kind of like hoping that your team get the bomb down. Obviously, if you have your ult, then, you know, you can put your ult down, but you want to be in this back area, the back line, just kind of staying alive, helping with your util. And just focusing on the late round, because that's where you are strongest when you're playing Viper. In terms of how you should start a round, let's say your team want to rush A. Obviously, give them the wall on A when there's like 2 seconds left. You don't want to give it too early because then the enemies are going to know, or they might suspect that you go in A. And then usually how I'll throw my mid orb is I'll just come to this arrow, aim about here and just throw it. If you want like some reference, aim at the arrow, see this corner, aim a bit to the left of the corner and just throw it. And it's just going to cover mid for you. How you want to play around this mid orb is really up to you. You know, you can fight tube, you can clear tube. I'll wait for my gas to come back up. But yeah, I'm gonna say, you know, you can fight tube, you can clear tube. With the addition to this window, you know, it adds a lot more options on places you can get kills. You know, you can walk up and fight this. You know, you can push through into kitchen, and you can also, you know, push through this orb. Like, people are not going to expect it, especially if your team are making a lot of noise on A. You know, you can push through this orb and find timings. That, you know, if you're crouching, think about it this way, right? Like if some guy is head glitching mid like this, and you know, you put your orb up, you come through the orb, you know, you kind of crouch like this. You're not gonna be in his line of sight. He's holding like this, and you're coming down here, and you can find these timings, and you can be really sneaky, if you play it correctly. And this is what you want to be doing on Viper. One round you might actually finally push. You might throw this orb every single round for 5-6 rounds, and not even go mid. Right, so this guy sees this orb and he thinks, oh well, the Viper's not even going to come mid. And then the one round you decide to go mid, you know, you lurk round, kill 3, win the round for your team, you're the hero. And this is what you want to be doing. You need to be playing mind games. If you put this orb up and every single time you walk through it, this guy's just going to stand there and hold it. If every time he holds it, nothing happens, you know, the orb drops, and there's no one mid, he knows there's no one kitchen, he thinks, well, why, like, he's probably not here this time either, you know, and he leaves. Then, you know, you have to confuse the enemy. They don't need to. They can't know your next move, you know. And you just doing this orb is not only gonna confuse this guy, but it's also gonna keep him here. Okay, if you see this orb, you're staying here, right? Maybe you're holding like this, and while he's holding, your team are pushing A, right? You've stopped a rotator with one smoke. You have kept this guy here, and your team have now got a 4v2 on A, all because you threw a smoke, you know. And that's what makes Viper so strong, is you can apply so much pressure just from a little piece of util. You can win a round off your lineups. You can win a round off throwing a smoke on mid and doing literally nothing, just sitting in spawn. You know, you can lurk on B, you can go with your team. There's so many options when you're playing Viper. Now, you know, we've covered, you know, what you want to be doing on mid. You want to be putting pressure, maybe trying to find the timing. You can sneak into kitchen. You can just put your smoke up and leave, and just join your team on A. You know, you can apply a lot of pressure on mid. You can run away, and by the time you've done this, the bomb might be down on A, and you can play your lineups then, right? You're already in this area, which is perfect. Now, if you are playing towards B, maybe you're doing a B rush. A really important lineup that you need to know is you just tuck in this corner like this, and you see this like curvy thing here. You just want to aim where it gets like on the corner, like here. You'll see it if you're in game, maybe it's a little bit hard to see on the video. And you just shoot the molly, and it's gonna land. Yeah, it's a really easy molly. There's no jumping, no anything, you know. It's just a simple molly. So you just get tucked in and shoot it. Easy. So when you're pushing B, obviously you need your wall up. So the best is, it's up to you. You can either do a deeper wall like this, and this wall's gonna, you know, give your team. It's gonna give the enemy team more space to play in, but it's also gonna give your team a lot of space to play in. You know, you're gonna be able. The team are gonna be able to push in deeper here. Maybe, you know, they can find a pick through this. Obviously, the enemies can do the same. It depends how the wall comes. Like sometimes the wall doesn't do this, sometimes it'll do this. But that's up to you. You can either do a deeper wall, or you can do a more shallow wall. I'll quickly show it. You know, like this type of thing, which is ideally a little bit easier for them to get the bomb down, but it also, you know, it gives the enemies more space. So if I am doing my wall, usually I'll opt for the deeper one, but this one's good as well if you have a sage wall as well. You know, you have the sage wall, get the bomb down, you throw your orb on the bomb, and you can fall back and you can play your lineups. And if you have the option of playing your lineups, then play them. They're always good. You know, you can support your team a little bit. You can start off, playing around here, maybe supporting your team a little bit, but you just need to not die. Because realistically, like, this is like, let's count. Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
About 6 seconds. You have 2 of these mollies. Okay, that is 12 seconds. That is 12 full seconds out of like the bomb timer. You can stall the bomb for 12 seconds. Like, that is actually crazy when you think about it. So it's such a valuable thing that you have, and just use it. Like, I don't know, just use it. I'm not a lineup person. I don't like lineups. I hate people that play like this, but it works. Like, if you're trying to get elo and if you're trying to play Viper properly, this is what you do. This is how you play. Unfortunately, this is how you play. Now, in terms of defense, you have your 2 best options. You're usually going to be playing towards B. Is you want an orb, and you can throw your orb here. When this orb's up, it gives you a lot to play around. And for the enemies, you need to think how it looks for the enemies. No one wants to push through the orb, right? It's going to funnel them yellow, and it's going to stop them pushing. It's going to stall until your teammates can rotate. This is by far my favorite orb, and the great thing about this orb is, like, you can be playing from Snowman. Okay, let me drop it. You can literally play from Snowman, and you can just jump peek like this. You see the enemies pushing, you put your orb up, still like this. If they do try to push through it, you can just molly your orb, and it's going to do way too much damage, and they can't plant the bomb. And you can stall for 12 seconds, and that is more than enough time for your teammates to rotate in and support you. If you do want to play a little bit more aggressive, you can throw like a smoke up here like this, and you can play a bit of a one-way type thing. And again, for the enemies, who wants to push like through this big green thing? And it's another great way to stall, but it really depends how you're feeling and how you want to play. If the enemies are playing really, really passive, or they're just not going B, then this orb's a lot better, because it's going to give them a lot less space if they do want to come B. But if they're rushing B quite often, just throw your orb down here. Now, primarily you want to be putting your wall towards A. It's just mainly to help your A players. The wall I'll usually do is I'll just throw it like this. You want to make sure that it's covering 410. This gives your teammates a lot to play around as well. I used to do this quite a lot. Like, say I have a killjoy that's playing B, and you can play around this Viper wall. You can play off timing. Maybe you have a guy that's fighting here or something like that, and then you can peek off this guy through the wall. And no one's going to expect you up here. Like, if you're up here, this guy gets contact, you swing, you're good for 2 kills, and you can disappear. For A, you can do like an annoying orb like this. And again, it's just this orb, an orb like this, it's just going to funnel the enemies into one position. And when they are funneled into one position, you can just, you can spam your mollies. Now, mollies, if you want to get them off the bomb, obviously you've got these mollies, for sight. Like, say if they're pushing in, it's going to slow them down a lot. But let's say they're already on site and you're rotating in and you want to stop them planting. You just want to get to this wall, aim in between these 2, crouch, shoot it. It's going to bounce, it's going to land, it's going to cancel the plant. And another one you can do is this one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and this is gonna molly anyone trying to plant as well. You know, these two are obviously really strong because it's just gonna delay the enemies completely and give your team time to rotate in. And also, if it vulnerables them, you know, it's gonna help your teammates a lot as well. In terms of it, like the walls that you can do, like this is just the best wall to do. It helps your team so much and denies the enemies so much. And it's the wall you know everyone does that wall just because it's so strong. If you do want a wall on B, you know, you can do a wall like this type of wall. You know, it works similar to the molly where it's just a nightmare for the enemies to have to push through. Or you know, you can do a wall, you know, like this. Which again, you know, the enemies just who wants to push through this, even if they are trying to push through, they have like this one angle, you know, like it's an easy angle.
Not recharged yet.
And you can mess around with this wall like this works. But in general, you want to keep your wall on A. Like, I'm not an advocate for the Viper B defense wall. I don't like it. I like the wall on A. I think it's much better. It's much stronger. So yeah, that's it really for Viper on Ascent, the basics that you need to know. Obviously, you've got your lineups for A, you've got your lineups for B, the orb on mid for attack. The wall on A is solid. You know why you want the wall on A. Yeah, that's it. Like it's mainly just you want to be staying alive. You want to be delaying both on attack and defense. You want to be delaying the bomb plant on attack, and you want to be delaying the bomb plant on B on defense. And if you do this stuff, you're gonna find a lot of success on Vibe. Obviously, with any agent, you can still play aggressive on her, but if you want the fundamentals, like how you should fundamentally be playing her, that is how, you know. Yeah, so that's it.